never forget, I think it was about 4 years ago, she stood up in front of an entire hall at King David Linksfield, in front of the high school kids. I think she had a little bell.
Oh yes, I did. I nearly broke my bell. I didn't break it.
And she rang a little bell that could barely be heard, and everybody just stopped. So today we are here to learn how to speak with confidence. This series of talks that we have is part of the 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐼𝐜 Career Hub series. But our communication that we do share with you regularly, you'll be able to see the difference in the types of topics of Career Hub versus the 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐼𝐜. It's so lovely to see new faces. Thank you for joining us. And I'm handing over to Caryn.
Thanks, Trace. It's great that you are all here. Yeah, thanks. And my name is Caryn, and I teach voice. How to look after your voice, how to use your voice, how to get more from your voice, which is your primary instrument of communication. And sometimes I think of it as your longest limb. That even though I can't touch you from here, but I can with my voice. And so it's a lovely way to think that one of the ways we really can connect with each other is by understanding something about how our voice works and how we can get more out of it. So I teach voice, I teach breath. Breath is a way to support your voice. Breath is a way to support yourself, to regulate, to deal with nerves. Whether you are tired or wired, breath is the way that we can really work with ourselves and those energies. It's a useful tool, oft quoted to just breathe, but because there's a reason there. That's where the research goes, that's where the science goes. The breath modulates and moderates our chemistry, and we should know how to use it efficiently and effectively, not just to keep us alive. So I teach voice, I teach breath, and I teach presence. What is this thing? What is presence? And how to use it? Kind of drop the mask. Drop that performative aspect. Presence isn't the performer. Although performers, of course, do know how to use it, but there's a vulnerability in there. There's a humanity in there. There's an authenticity in there. So how to feel like you can bring your presence into whatever space you are in, show up and choose to be present. And there's skills there. I think that often people think you're born with it or something, but you're not. It is something we can all grow and work with and use our whole lives. And it's a kind of race that's never ever won. You're always learning and working on something in terms of this very broad umbrella, this big skill set of voice, breath, and presence. And my background is from the world of the theater, both practice and methodology. Something called the Alexander technique. I don't know if anybody's heard of the Alexander technique. I think it is the world's best kept secret. Cadet, you know about the Alexander technique. It's the world's best kept wellness secret. And that's to do with posture, and it's to do with tension and habits that get in the way unconsciously. We don't even know that we're doing it, but it gets in the way of us being able to breathe, to think, to find that word that I was looking for. And so Alexander technique is a wonderful technique and tool to help us in those moments. And I also come from a background of executive coaching, mindfulness practice, and all of this I use as a way to how do we connect? How do we feel like we are ourselves? And learn something. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to learn, I hope, something about ourselves. It's not a academic exercise. It is practical. These are not skills you can theorize, you can write the paper, but it is much more interesting to see where can I grow, where can I learn, and what are some of the skills and tools, and that's what we're going to do tonight. We're actually going to try some of them on. In that framework, stand up and speak. How do I stand up and speak? So stand up is both kind of literal, stand and hold space, but also figurative in that you can get the same idea sitting, because the stand up and speak, the stand up part is talking to something about feeling powerful, in your body, feeling powerful in your mind, feeling powerful emotionally, that I have what it takes to show up in that moment. The stand-up part is something to do with, where is my support? What holds me up and spaces me out? What of my back? How can I use some of these things to help me feel organized and present? That's the stand-up part. And the speak is that voice aspect. Like, do I even like the sound of my voice? Do I know anything at all about my voice, except that when I hear it on a voice note and I think, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐟𝐢𝐝𝐞𝐳. But again, it is a tool and it is a skill, and you can learn something about your voice, and of course you should, because this is not about being an actor, this is not about being the professional speaker, although I'm sure many of you are in your work. Any speaking is public speaking. Anytime you open up your mouth to offer a thought, or whatever it is, that's public speaking. You're not thinking it privately, you're sharing it. And so to learn something about how your voice works is a very valuable skill, I think. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit participative. And stop me with questions. That would be lovely. It's a huge body of work, so if I can tailor it to specifically a scenario you're thinking about, then that would be great. Then I can use what you bring as a way to bring a tool or an idea. Some will work for you, some won't, some of you. And if you want to know more about my work and what I do and who I work with, then go and find me on my website or send me an email. And the work continues. Today we're just doing a little intensive, a little sample of a much broader body of work. So just show me with your hand, where are you with your energy right now? And if you kind of down here, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, I feel a little much, I feel a little like tired, and there's a whole range. You can kind of feel like I'm somewhere here, I'm somewhere here. Up here would be more like heart beating, adrenalized, excited. Where are you? Just check in a little, where am I? Where is my energy? He's like, okay, yes, let me see. Yeah, lovely. And that your energy can change, right? There's not like I'm locked in and I'm cued in and this is how I am the rest of the day and the night. And small interventions can help us do that. And as I say, whatever I am working with, I always start my days and classes that I give with 2 very simple breaths. And we're going to do them now together. These 2 breaths you're doing all the time anyway. So I'm not giving you technique. I'm reminding you that these are little organic, means it's something that my system asks for, mini freedom practices. And what a lovely gift to give yourself is to just kind of double down and go for it. So the first breath is a sigh. Is a sigh. And a sigh tells your nervous system, oh, it's not all happening faster than I can manage. The sigh tells the nervous system, I can empty before filling. It's a magic little gift. So how you're going to do it is, however you do it, it's fine. But a sigh typically happens, you breathe in through your nose and you release through your mouth, and it's a kind of letting go, a little whoosh. So I'll show you one, and then you're going to do one. Yeah, and if you feel like you can't do it, that's also something interesting. Like, oh, no, doesn't feel comfortable for me. Breathing out through my mouth feels a little, I don't know, unprofessional or something. But you want to be able to give yourself permission to do that sigh, because it is also one of the first little gift-wrapped parcels I can give you about your voice. Your voice has to leave you. It has to come, we'll talk a little bit about how your voice works, but it has to come out of your mouth. Now, if your jaw is locked and you cannot open your mouth, and your voice is sneaking through your teeth like this. Yes, people can hear you, but this is not a generous voice. This is not a voice where people feel like, I hear you. It gets stuck at that last moment. So a sigh is a way to remind these jaw muscles, you don't have to stay in tightness. Those jaw muscles, they're about the size of your own hand over here. They are the first to tighten in response to stress, and the last to let go, unless we consciously remind ourselves, hey, jaw muscles! You're not chewing anything. You're not responsible for keeping my jaw attached to my skull. I can let that go. So let's do one more side. I'm going to help you here with a little image. I want you to pick an imaginary flower. I want you to bring it to your nose. You're going to savor the smell. Breathe in. Savor it, which means take your time. And then at the top of that breath, release your jaw and let it go. That's the practice, to let it go. So a sigh. They're delicious. They're useful. They're little resets that you could do stuck in traffic, that you could do before your meeting, before your phone call, on levels we don't even understand. That sigh works magic. Before I show you the other breath, because we're talking about this jaw, I want us just to do a little body mapping. Body mapping is, I have an idea of how things are in my body, where my jaw is, where my spine is, where my feet are, but often it's not actually the truth. So, feel your chin. Put your two hands and feel this pointy bone. Feel the chin. Be a little bit curious. There's my chin. You can find it underneath your beards and underneath your base. You feel the shape of your chin, which gives your particular face its particular shape. And now you're going to feel your way up this jawbone to the place where that jawbone rounds. Yep. And where that jawbone rounds, you walk your hands up and to that place just in front of your ears. That's your TMJ, right? You know that you're there if you bite your back teeth together and you feel that masseter come up over your teeth. There's the second jaw muscle, which is here. Bring two hands here, just above your temples. Bite your back teeth together. And there's that other muscle, that other guy. So it makes sense that when our jaws are tight, a headache is not far behind because of the tightening around the skull. So you're going to take the palm of your hand into that TMJ. And I want you to do a little self-massage. I want you to bring some pressure into that area. You're bringing some warmth, some blood, some reminder. Now just make sure, if we were working together one-on-one, I'd be able to help you a little bit more accurately, but what it looks like to me is a lot of you are on your cheekbones. Nuh-uh. A lot of you are here on the fleshy part of your cheek. Nice to massage there, but that's not what you're going for. You want to find where that jaw muscle comes up over and massage into there. When you found it, you run your hands along the jawbone, let your mouth drop open as you go. I know you just hang out with this open mouth, catching flies, and of course your mother would say to you, no! But for now, it's actually a useful thing. Let your jaw hang open. Let your jaw hang open. And you want your tongue to be with that lower jaw, flat. Inside your mouth, flat. And you have this release here. You can check for yourself if you have enough jaw release. You don't have to do it now. But if you can get 2 fingers there. If you cannot get 2 fingers there, you know that you have a very, very tight masseter muscle. You should be able to get at least 2 fingers there, but you don't want to force it right now. So that's your sigh. The second breath, which you might need a little bit more room for, is a yawn. Is a yawn. It's a little mini unstructured freedom practice. And all mammals yawn. Cats, dogs, I think even reptiles yawn. We want it, but most of us have 1 million unyawned yawns inside of us. And that is, again, to do with the voice. you need an open throat and gullet. And all this tension here is a surefire way of keeping that stand up and speak part back locked. And so without getting technical at all, you can yawn. That you're helping all the little pop tension that wants to come out. Lovely. Your intuition to go for it was totally spot on. Go for it. If you feel like you can't in public, I'm not going to force you, but I will encourage you in the safety of this class, where the whole point is, how do I feel more comfortable in my skin? You can't.
No, it's the initial reaction is harder.
Exactly.
Yes. Also being a mom, you can go home and you've got two more kids to deal with.
So the yawn that you give now isn't permission for your system to go to sleep. Yawns work both ways. If you think about it, when we wake up in the morning in response to sunlight, we yawn. It's a way of waking up. When the sun sets and we are tired and it's time for us to relax, we yawn. So it kind of will meet you where you are at. If you need a little bit more of the energy, you yawn with that intention. It's a wake up. It's a stretch, it's a release, it's a coming into your body and into that moment. And if you are doing it for its other reason, that's the intention, and it will also meet you here, which is lovely. You don't have to overthink it. It will help you wherever you find yourself. So we start with those two lovely breaths. A yawn and a sigh. And before any call that you need to make, before any presentation that you need to make, formal or informal, whether it's just around a meeting, whether you're walking into a sales pitch, whether you are hosting a dinner, and wherever you need to have your presence, you kick that off in private with a yawn and a sigh, and you are 10 steps ahead of where you would have been unprepared. Because what is preparation? Preparation is not, I know who I'm meeting and I know what I want to say. Very nice. But the way that you show up requires preparation too. Wherever you are, if you don't mind, close your eyes. If you're not happy to close your eyes, just look at a point on the floor in front of you. And if you are happy to close your eyes, then do. And I won't leave you there. I will remind you that you can open your eyes at a certain point. But I've asked you to close your eyes because it kind of takes the focus a little bit off me. And maybe you can drop into yourself. Oh, here I am, in the foreground. I have this body, I'm sitting on this chair, and you are totally three-dimensional. We're very aware of our fronts and not so aware of our backs in an ordinary moment unless the back is sore. But I want you to just give this thought to, oh, I'm so three-dimensional, and here I am in my substance, in my length, in my width, in my depth. And I want you to, if you do want to move, you can, but just hold it for a moment, because it's interesting for you to notice where you are on the chair. As you've been listening to me, what is the position you found yourself in? Where are your hands? What are they touching? You're just gathering data. There is no right or wrong. I'm not going to say to you, well, this is the wrong posture for whatever it is. You want to see, where do I go when I'm not conscious? Are your feet on the floor or off the floor? What direction are your feet pointing? What direction do your knees point? Out in front of you, or do they sort of cross, either outward in diagonals or inward, meeting somewhere? What is the expression on your face? And how do you think that would read? If you had to think about just a little curiosity about your spine. Hey, where is my spine right now in relation to my front, in relation to my back, in relation to the chair, in relation to my head? Where is your head on top of your spine? This is hard to know. So you can just think about it as if you were watching yourself on some surveillance footage, some gray and black and white surveillance footage, and you can see yourself. What does it look like? Bring a little curiosity to your jaw, to your tongue. the last 2 moments, you're going to play with this idea that you can have the sense of yourself and include the room. Meaning you don't have to really flip-flop between, oh, I'm listening to Caryn and I know there are other people and there's these ambient sounds, oh, and I'm here too. We call it this unified field of attention. I can be in my attention as well as all these other things. And this is the first place of presence, is to know that I have myself even when I'm busy with something else. Before you open your eyes, if there is some way you would like to move or shift or shuffle, then do it. And what I'm going to suggest is that you're going to move for more, let's say, freedom and ease. Like, is there another way you could sit that you could have more support and more freedom? Freedom for what? Freedom for, like, I could nod my head easily in this position. I could use my joints easily in this position. I could move easily from this position. And I have the whole length of my spine. There's no collapse. And when you're ready to just gently open your eyelids and see the room in a kind of quiet, fresh way. You don't have to be super jazzy awake, and you don't also have to be super sleepy. You're somewhere in the middle. And see if you can keep the sense of yourself, even as you are like in this room with all these other people. What do you think of that? Is that interesting to you? Does that make sense to you? Is that an experiment that you can play with? Yeah, I love it. I really feel like that is the place we learn the most about how to control our responses in the face of a strong stimulus, standing up and speaking, is that I don't get lost. I don't forget that I am full of these resources to pause, to choose, to lengthen, to stay breathing. And this is a whole new way of working. This is not the Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people, and you put your hands like this, and you shake hands, and it must be like palm to palm and nice and pump it out, and then you must like stand in a way and use your voice in a way. That is so, we don't think like that anymore. Now it's about how can I feel like really myself and connect from that place. So it goes this way. Can I connect this way and then connect that way? And then connect this way and then connect that way. How long do you think your spine is? Show me with your hands. How long is it? How big and long is your spine? Show me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is so much longer and stronger than I think most of us know. And when I work with my teenagers, this is this wonderful epiphany. I say to my teenagers, if your friend says to you, buddy, I've got your back. Don't worry, come, let's go, I got your back. What does that feel like? And what does that mean? And my teenagers say to me, it means I got a wingman. I'm not alone. I have something of a resource to help me in that moment. And then I say, yeah, and you know what? You have your own back. You have your own back. And to plug into that idea before a stand up and speak moment, that's where that kind of gravitas and that support comes from. So where is your spine? Well, the bottom of your spine is sort of, if you do a little wiggle like this on the chair, you will feel maybe in there are your sit bones. Okay. If this was a different kind of class, I would make you dig in there and feel them. But for now, you don't have to, unless you want. You have a bone in each bum, and just somewhere between your sit bones And above is the tip end of your tailbone. Okay, so it is a nice thought to think, actually the spine doesn't end here-ish. It drops down to almost where the chair is. The tailbone is almost to where the chair is. That's the tip bottom. And then it is curvy and it runs up through the middle of you and it comes up to the place behind your nose between your ears. So if you took your finger and you feel this bone here underneath your nose, you can feel there's a bone, yeah? And then you trace your fingers around underneath your cheekbones and behind your ears, and then you feel those other two bones, the mastoid processes, and then you keep walking and you feel the lobes at the back of your head, and then there's the point in there where there's a kind of soft point between the two. So if I had a finger by that bony bit by my nose and there at the other end of my skull, that is the bottom of my skull, not my jaw, that's the bottom of my skull. And somewhere between those two fingers, if they were to meet in the middle, is where the top of my spine is. So it comes all the way up to between my fingers there and there. So it is this long column of support, yes? And I say that because when postures tell you everything, and when people think sit up straight, they pull their heads back onto the side. Where is the support of my spine? It's sort of somewhere back there. It's not back there. It is almost 5 centimeters in from back there. And your head is resting on top of your spine in the middle. You want more support from your spine? Let your head balance forward and up. And know that that whole spine is from the chair to that place behind your nose between your ears. You have this long neck, and your eyes are up at eye level. So a quick little thought to help me find this when I am looking for it is I think to myself, okay, so it says Bosfoff, and then an arrow that's directing up. And this is shorthand for when you want to find your support, when you want your own back, when you want to know what is that position for confidence, so that I can breathe, so that I can use my voice, because where does your voice live in your body? Where does your breath live in your body? I'm not going to be able to find any of that if there is tightness and collapse and I'm wearing a suit of armor around me and my shoulders are up in my ears. I want you to find your Bosfoff, and your Bosfoff is bum on seat. That means you're sitting on your sit bones. You're not behind your sit bones. You're not in front of your sit bones. Bum on seat. Bum, sit bones. I'm on top of my sit bones. Bosfoff, bum on seat, feet on floor. So, certainly as a starting position, you want 2 feet on the floor. So find it now. If you have to choose between the backrest or your feet on the floor, choose feet on the floor. That's how our bodies interpret, intersect safety. If I feel the ground underneath me as opposed to my feet dangling, I feel safe, I feel grounded, I feel anchored. Get your feet on the floor. 2 feet, not 1, not half. You put your feet on the floor. You find your sit bones. And then that arrow there is reminding you of up, length. That's where your poise lives. And there's such a lovely podcast I listened to this week. And this guy was talking about some yoga pose. And he said, there's this yoga pose called Royal Ease. Royal Ease. And he said, royal is that feeling of control, of confidence, of length, of power. Royal. Eyes at eye level. And then the ease part is super comfortable and relaxed. I am myself. So in a way, I could almost replace this Bosfoff with this idea of royal ease. Does that make sense to you? You find your royal, that is length, that is unapologetic, that is 3D. I take up space, yep. And the ease is let my weight go down through my sit bones. I'm easy, I have support, my feet are on the floor. Breath in. go through this evening, I want you to just think, what one thing can I practice? I'm not going to make you practice it all now, but there's something that maybe you think, in the privacy of my next phone call meeting, wherever you find yourself, where can I remind myself to find some of this? Just stand up. We're going to find it standing. Are there any thoughts or questions at this point? Are you all okay? Are you okay? Okay, great. Show me how you stand normally. Let's move some things out the way. Okay, so let's give you a scenario depending on what you do. You're in the queue at Pick n Pay. That was not good, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You are, I don't know, speaking to people. You're, whatever that scenario would mean to you, where you would find yourself speaking to a group of people. How do you stand? What are your hands doing? What are your feet doing?
Our hands move all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Some people say it's distracting.
Yes, I totally understand. So the question is, you move your hands a lot, and is that a good thing or a bad thing? And it's neither. It's whatever it is, it's fine. As long as the rule of thumb is, if I am aware of it, and I'm choosing it because it serves my point. If I'm a windmill and I actually just am doing it because it's my default and my habits, then absolutely not. If I have my hands in my pocket and they are glued in there, no. If they're there for a moment or two, it's absolutely fine. You can do whatever. So to find this sitting thing standing, because this is stand up and speak, I'm going to tell you a few things and I'll try and just keep it short. When you stand, your weight is distributed through the whole sole of your foot. The toes are just like ribbons streaming out from your feet. You don't want to grip at your toes at all. They don't need to be. They are there for balance. They are there for ease. So just make sure you're not holding on with your toes. Then under the ball of your big toe, under the ball of your baby toe, and at your heel makes the tripod for balance. So you almost want to think, I'm plugged in at those 3 points. I don't favor the outside or the inside, or I have all 3 points through the floor. And then you want to think of your length up. So I'm going to show you how to find your length up. I think you're going to need to stagger because we're going to do a little moment with your arms up like this. So maybe even coming into the middle of the room and facing me is fine for now. This is a wonderful exercise by a voice teacher named 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿, who teaches at the Royal Theatre in London.
Whatever.
She teaches whatever and wherever, but she's incredible. And she's adapted some of her work for theatre students, for corporate, for anyone. So this is called the Da Vinci. It is the orator's pose. It is the pose that helps us feel like, okay, I have my power to speak now. And it is based off that idea of that Vitruvian man. You know the Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian man? Exactly. And that's all about kind of ratios, that I am as long this way as I am that way, and I'm kind of all in proportion. So we find our own length and proportions. Let me show you. This you're going to have to do. You plug in. You check that your feet are evenly distributing the weight, but your knees are not locked. Your knees are soft. There's almost a dream of a bend in your knees. And then you do like this. I'm going to show you the whole thing. You breathe in. And my fingertips come up. I'm now in a big length. I breathe out through my mouth, and I stop at my T. I check now, can I release my shoulders a little bit? Oh yes, I can. Now I have my lovely neck, and my shoulders are not scrunched. Then I'm going to wiggle my fingers. This is very clever, because if I see my fingers wiggling, I know I have my peripheral vision. Peripheral vision means I'm not staring, I'm not fixed, I'm not in kind of eagle tunnel vision. I have my peripheral vision. I need that. I need that to think. Then you push down as if you were pushing on a body of water. If you push down on a body of water, which direction do you go? If I push down on water, which way do I go? You go up. So you push down on that body of water and it gives you this direction, the opposite direction, through the crown of your head. And at the bottom there, you check that your shoulders are released, your jaw is soft, and you can do a little click. And we won't go actually into any of that now. Let's just stop there. Okay, so plug in, knees are soft, breathe in, breathe out. Stop at your teeth. If you want to yawn, you must yawn. Go for it. Check your shoulders are released and you have your whole neck. Lovely. Wiggle your fingers. If you can see your fingers, you're in the right place. If you can't, you're buttressed a bit far back. You want it at the place just at the edge of your vision. And you have this whole peripheral vision. Beautiful. Now you push. Just gently, softly, as if your arms were pushing on a body of water and you're allowing your length in the other direction. Up, 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 up. Drop your shoulders. Soften, soften. Drop your shoulders. Now this is that royal ease. You have your absolute length, but you have to find the softness too. Shoulders are released, jaw is released. You can blink. You are not frozen in your eyes, and you can smile. The smiling is a whole interesting one too. I don't know if we've got time for it now. But the smiling, what I suggest is we smile here. You put the smile here. Or you put it somewhere in your throat, because it's not always appropriate to smile in that moment. You want it to come somewhere. But if it comes through your mouth, then it's actually going to interrupt your articulation. Okay, one more time just so that you've got it. One more time so you feel like this is a Da Vinci. When would you do this?
When I wake up in the morning.
You could do it absolutely then. When would you do this? Whenever you bloody well feel like it. When would you use it?
Anytime.
Anytime. Anytime when you're tired. And very particularly, it is the presentation, stand up and speak moment. The next, and it is like, even if it is an informal meeting, if you're going to meet your child's teacher, you want to remind your system, hey, this is what we got. Mind, body, length, dimension, strength. Now everything can work. My breath, my voice, all the things that I very much need. Okay. The Da Vinci, let's see it. Plug in. Knees are soft. Weight is evenly distributed through the soles of your feet. Breathe in. Let your fingertips come up. Breathe out. Now you're in your full width. Just check that your hips haven't come like this. Heels are on top of your legs. Wiggling your fingers, peripheral vision, drop your shoulders. Push down, grow tall, taller, tall, 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 so tall. And yet your feet are on the ground, so you don't lose your connection. And then at the bottom there, we can just do, we'll finish with a little sigh. Don't lose that peripheral vision, or that thing we played with earlier. There you are, there you are, there you are. You are at the center of your experience. Yes? Not the phone ringing, not the PowerPoint. You are at the center of your experience and you can feel that. Okay, shake it out. Have a seat. What are the 10 communication skills? I thought I would just give them to you quickly. These are not all of them. These are 10 of them. These are the 10 most important and underutilized and easiest to start to include in how and what you're using. So the 10 communication skills are energy, which is kind of why I asked you, where are you? And that you know your energy and you know how to work with your own energy and the energy in the room. Physical expressiveness, what is that? What do you think that
When you present yourself.
Yes. Yes. It is a synonym for? Yes. Exactly. The way that I'm showing up in my body language is the physical expressiveness. And I'm sure this is all stuff we all know, but that the body language reads even stronger this way. So of course we want the body language that says, take me seriously, I'm an expert, I'm absolutely, there is nowhere else in the world I would rather be than in this meeting and moment with you, and my body language can say all of that. But more importantly than what it's saying is what it's telling you you're allowed to do, and how comfortable and confident you can feel. Then it's the voice, listening, eye contact. This one is my favorite. So easy to get right. And so often just so wrong. Relaxation, spontaneity, awareness. Oh, that's a biggie. I think this is the key to all of them. Focus and concentration and breathing. These are the 10. Where do you feel like you operate from very naturally? Which of these? Just pick one. And it's a bit of a weird question because they all really are so overlapping in the same kind of root. But if I said to you, here are the 10, and just for like interest, where do you feel like you're using and you're confident and you're kind of skilled there?
Voice.
Listening. Also listening. Energy.
Spontaneity.
So funny because it's just like hilarious. Is that the one that you're good at?
Yeah, that's the only one.
And so that's totally great, and I believe you, and you kind of came alive there at that moment, but the way that you said it and the meaning of the word, and I'm saying it because we're in that class where that might be an interesting thing to hear as feedback. What did that do? Doesn't kind of give you the feel of that word. Okay, all right, fine, exactly. And for you?
I love listening.
Saying listening.
Awareness.
Listening.
Skip.
I think voice.
Yeah, it's good to know for yourself. A little bit of my superpower. And when you know that, then you've got to get double down, like really use it. And if we reversed the circle, what would you like to work on?
Relaxation.
Pick one.
Maybe eye contact, listening. I don't know.
That's fine.
Breathing.
Eye contact, and I'll tell you why. When I grew up, we were taught that eye contact was weak. So growing up now, where when you're engaging with somebody, you have to look them in the eye to make sure that they're hearing you or that you're listening to them. It's kind of very difficult to find the balance for me. So I would love to work on the eye contact.
Beautiful. And just that you're recognizing that there are contexts in which there's a different expectation and setup, and that now your eye contact is just totally, you know, it says I'm absolutely present and I'm following and I'm participating, and there's not a thing about your eye contact that I could say, you know, it needs work. No, because you know what it does? It communicates you to me, and then it feels like I'm also allowed to communicate to you. That channel is very, very open. But yes, there are different contexts in which the requirements differ, and you know that, and you can work with all of those. Yep.
Relaxation.
Energy.
Voice.
Physical expressions.
relaxation, and a few others.
Focus and concentration. Voice.
Relaxation.
Does listening mean read your audience?
What a great question. Yes.
And that's it.
It means it can mean a lot of things. Each is a universe. Each is a philosophy. Each is a practice. So yes, one of those things is, can I read the room? And one of the helpful things that puts me in such a self-care place when I'm talking to groups. The deepest self-care I can give myself in those moments is that when I am listening and reading the room, my default place is, in psychology they call it this unconditional positive regard. I will assume that this is going well. If I don't know, right, unless there is an overt, you're going too fast, or I actually disagree, or there's somebody heckling, or whatever, I will tell myself that yes, I'm not saying like, you're like everything is amazing and you're not absolutely reading it, but that part of reading the room is setting up, we are going to work from love, from like, I want to be here, and I'm going to absolutely assume that you want to be here too. And even if your freaking boss sent you, there is a part of you that is going to be happy that you're here, and I'm going to work from that place. And even if people are sitting like so, or like so, or like so, I know that it works much better for me to think, this person, whatever it is their story or they're going through, they don't even know what their body language is half the time, and it's fine. Any other thoughts or questions?
I'm intrigued why you haven't got confidence on that list. Like relaxation.
Yeah.
I would say that's the number one issue that impedes people.
Yeah. What is confidence?
I suppose being up there and feeling you've got the ability to do it well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great question. Why isn't confidence up here? It feels like to me, these are the skills that you can build and work on, and confidence is the kind of is the outcome.
Or do your homework.
Or do your homework. What do you mean by do your homework?
Be prepared. Subject matter preparation.
This is all great stuff. Because confidence, there is a true confidence and there is a false confidence. And false confidence is, I really am so arrogant, like there is just no room for me to fail. Like I've so got this that
doesn't leave room for the other.
It doesn't.
And there's no communication.
That is exactly
Also,
it.
if it's confidence, it's something that comes from within. And if you focus on those things, the idea is that your inside is what you can project outside, and that will be confidence.
Yeah.
But you can have
Yeah, let's.
Isn't it sometimes okay not to be confident, as long as you're being honest and the people who you're talking to, you could sound a bit shy.
Yes.
And so forgive me if I stutter or whatever it might be. And then people will listen to you rather than you say, okay, here I am. And it's not really who you are, for me.
No, that is what the speakers who've mastered the kind of art of holding that space, it is all about the vulnerability. That is how you build rapport, that is how you build trust, that is how you build relationship, is you show that very like, I'm in it as much as you are. If I'm asking you to show up, I am doing it in equal measure, and there's so much room for making a mistake and for just, all those things. There's a wonderful research about, well, what is this confidence thing? And you see, so it's a balance of warmth and power. Too much of the kind of like, oh, but just I'm like myself and da 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 da. People don't take you seriously. You lack that gravitas. You need the power, you need the stand up, you need the I'm embodied, I've arrived, I'm like prepared to be here with all of me. Whether I'm, you know, whatever. If I make a mistake, that's also fine. But it's got to come with that warmth, that vulnerability.
So what is energy then?
Well, energy is, in this context, it does mean that.
Okay.
It means all good communication takes effort and energy. And how do I work with it? I mean, nerves are energy. How do I work with that in order for it to serve me? How do I read and move and work with the energy in the room?
It's a part of enthusiasm.
Yes. It's a part of enthusiasm, and everybody's will be totally different. I mean, do you think that we are all born with the same amount of energy? You see, I do. I think if you replace the word energy with life force, there is no one that was born with less or more, or there's some quantifiable thing. Energy is your life force. You will express it entirely differently. There is no one way to be that energized, available, connected, alert, receptive, interested, curious. Do it your way. But no, there is no quantifiable thing of some people have more, some people have less. Your energy. Yeah, please.
I didn't see energy as a physical manifestation, which is I think what you were referring to. I see it more as like a sixth sense, you know, just knowing, picking up. That's the way I
So cool.
see energy.
Totally. Yes, that there's like, you can read the subtext. I'm saying something.
And we don't even need to read it because we connect. If we're all connected, there is no reading because we are.
Yeah.
We are.
I mean, that's like the quantum next level. That would be amazing if you walked in
no,
and
it's
felt
just
like,
explain that, you know,
yeah,
it is another energy.
there is another energy. When I work with groups, and we are talking about that kind of thing, I might replace that word with proprioception. Is that I am aware of my own connectedness, where I am and how I am relating to the other things in this space. And it's not from a me, you, us, but that yeah, it's all the same. Because what is well, proprioception comes from that Greek word proprio, meaning property. So I know what is my property. I know where I begin and end. I know what is me and what is not me. And that is very useful because I can only take care of me. Yes. No, I know, you get it, exactly. So it's all these wonderful, interesting things. Before we run out of time, I did want to just do a little bit on the voice part, the speak part. Who likes the sound of their voice?
I don't mind it.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I will just say this, that your voice is a muscle, and if you play with it and work with it, it will respond. What is a good voice? A good voice is a voice that is forward, that is free, that is flowing, that is flexible. There is no one way to have a good voice. There are just a million ways to have a bad voice. And what is a bad voice is one that I cannot hear you. That is stuck. I mean, and there's a million ways in which our voices do get stuck.
Doesn't project.
It doesn't project, or it's not clear because there's a mumble, or in the moment of speaking, I double back and doubt myself, and so I kind of start and then stop and swallow. Sort of what you wonderfully shared earlier, which is, and then I forget where I am. And I find it hard to find the word and the place and come back to share a solid message. Yes, and the work is, can I trust my voice? Can I trust my thoughts? Can I trust what I might say? Can I trust my voice? Can I trust my thoughts? Can I trust what I might say? And the confidence piece is, sometimes it won't come out as you wished it had, and that's going to have to be okay. And if people aren't clear, they need to ask. And if you're making space, then people feel like they can. The quickest, most wonderful voice warm-up work that you can do, and this is what any professional voice user is doing before any speaking, is humming. is a hum. Because what is happening is, how you make sound, and I'll just be brief about it, is the breath hits the vocal folds and sets up an oscillation of the vocal folds, and that tiny little note grows in all the resonating chambers of your chest, your throat, your sinuses, your mouth, your head. And once that note is amplified, is resonated, then you use your articulators, your lips, your tongue, your teeth, your palate, and it chops up that hum into phonemes, little parts of speech. And once you have all these chopped up words, well, then we have an intention or a wish that it can leave me and it can go. It's this wonderful, complex, highly specialized activity that only us humans can do. And a hum is pre-verbal. It warms up your vocal folds. It sets up a solid bed of air to come up underneath you and support your voice going up and out. So we're going to do some humming. Find your basfaf. That means away from the back of the chair. Drop your shoulders. Check that you've got your peripheral vision. Your lips are lightly touching. Your teeth are not touching. Your tongue is lying on the floor of your mouth. Do a little breath in, and whatever note is comfortable for you, just if you're playing with learning a hum and knowing that this is for a very particular job. I want to warm up and play with my voice. Breathing in, pick a note. Trace, we're going to come back and do part 2, okay? Because from this hum is where your voice work will start. So if anybody wants to come and do a voice class from this place, we will start here. If you all promise to come, I promise to do another one. And we will start at the basfaf. You will know what that means. And then we will start at the hum. And then you start to say, well, how do I bring the voice forward and full into my mouth? And feel that it starts to buzz over here. And then we let it go. Start to play with it. Let's do one more hum. Check that you're not in the way of your throat. Breathing in. Pick a note that's slightly higher this time. Put your hand where you feel the buzz. Where is it buzzing? Okay, interesting. Lovely. And what I want you to play with, oh, that's lovely, you're a singer. Great breath capacity there. What you want to do when you're humming is check that you can still move. If I'm humming and I'm like, you know, no, it's all got to be nice and free and easy. Okay, so just as a way to finish, you're going to say, in this, if this was our volumizer, down here is nice and soft. You're going to just say your name, and then I'm going to show you, and we're going to grow with some volume. And what I want you to try is that your volume isn't coming from your throat. It's coming from somewhere else low down. And that you can find that if you are sitting in your basfaf. And then you want to think about opening your mouth. Remember about opening your mouth that we did at the side? So it'll go like, Caryn, 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 Caryn! Or whichever way we go. So breathe in and sigh out. Volume that is sort of depicted by my hand. I mean, the truth is you're all freaking down here still. Yes? Jamie Lee! That's wonderful. And that you can find, the wonderful thing is that if you have volume and no variation, vocal variety, it'll sound angry. So if I say everything in a monotone but I have volume, I am angry. If I have volume, it's necessary, the volume, but not pitch it at a monotone. We're going to go around the room, and very quickly you're just going to go from your boss fop. My name is Caryn, and I want you to think this generosity of spirit. You can hear me. I'm not too loud, and I'm not too soft, I hope, and that I'm practicing speaking from this place of I have my own back. And if your heart's beating a little bit fast because now you have to vocalize in front of the group, you can also just be like, that's totally fine. Doesn't have to get in the way. And how we're going to do it is, and I swear that this is done, we're done. Instead of the creeping circle of death, when I've gone, I'm going to send it to someone. With nice, strong eye contact and a gesture, and then you take it and you do, and you send, and you send, and you send. Hi, or good night, my name is Caryn.
Hi, my name is Adrian.
Thank you, my name is Freda.
Thanks, my name is Taryn.
Lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to slow us down a little bit. The ending, don't rush it. So don't do, hi, my name is Caryn. No, have your moment. Finish it, end it a full stop, and then send it. Slow it right down. Practice holding on to that moment just a little bit longer. Go back.
Thanks, my name is Taryn.
Hi, my name is Agatha.
Hi, my name is Ellis.
Who's next, Emma?
Hi, my name is Adrian.
Hi, my name is Carrie.
Hi, my name is Leon.
Hi, my name is Jamie.
Hi, my name is Elmer.
Me. Hi, my name is Larry.
Just, yeah, be aware. Don't like freak out like
I
yourself.
think I don't know who has a job.
Yeah, you can notice.
Hello, my name is Raymond.
Pass to Cadet.
Hello, my name is Cadet, but it's also Vivian.
And then we're going to hand it to you at the back.
Hi, my name is Helene.
And who have you been? Okay, good. Hand it to
Jocelyn.
Hi,
my name is Jocelyn.
Oh, hi, my name is Buntal.
Hi, my name is Tracy.
Hi, my name is Pilaki.
feet flat on the floor. Breathe in. Sigh out. Check that you feel like all your joints are free and easy and available. You have your peripheral vision. You can give yourselves and me a round of applause. I'm sorry we ran over. I hope there were some things that you can continue to think about and play with and digest. That is our Stand Up and Speak, part 1. Maybe we'll do a part 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Before we finish off tonight, we have sent you all a message via SMS. It is a 30-second feedback survey. Please, can you complete it before leaving here? Yes.
Thank you. Yay! Oh, thanks, Caryn. Love that little crazy. Thank
And
you
if you
very
would
much.
all join us for part 2, I will gladly arrange it. Can I see a show of hands if you would all like to attend part 2?
Thank you. Okay, good. That would be great.
Put it into the comments in the survey, and Tracy at least can see who wants to come.
Yes. Very much so. What is it? Is that the question? It's a whole, yes, there is.
No, that's enough.
That's, yeah.
Just wanted to photograph this how to speak. Easier to remember.
Yes,
send all her messages.
Oh, good. Thank you so much.
Can I please have
Nice guy. Thank you, Adela. The consent form. Wow. I want to think about my answer because my instinct is yes. What was the question?
Okay.
But I'm not. I don't want to over promise and then think about that as a big. But yes, I think we absolutely could. I would love to too. I want to come in a whole lot of people. Huddle, huddle.
I'm just going to take it off because
Always. Yeah, she's great, very nice. She's got that enthusiasm. God bless her.
Thank you. Thank you, oh, thank you so much. Thanks, Jocelyn. Nice that you were here. Just take my details. Yes, more direct. Yes and yes to all those